Howdy, everybody. As you might be able to tell based on the background you're seeing in this video in various ways, I've been hospitalized. I apparently lost 30 pounds in the past 3 weeks from stress and not really eating as much as I should have. And that's on me, honestly. I'm not going to blame anybody else for my mistake in that regard. But this video is about flaws in the modern American medical system in various ways. Specifically, it is about that pair of words right there: artificial flavors. Now, it is in my chart at this hospital and pretty much every hospital I've ever been to that I'm allergic to artificial flavors and colors and preservatives, for that matter. And I don't have the common decency to, have something nice and simple like my throat closing up that's easy for a doctor to diagnose and treat happen to me when I have the symptoms of my kind of allergy. It's far, far worse. I've become completely psychotic, murderous, and homicidal. Now, I've never actually killed anybody, fortunately. But there was one time, some years ago, where I was within 5 feet of a man with a sharp rock in my hand, preparing to kill him because of this allergy. And by the grace of God, I managed to get my mind back under control enough to leave that area, leave that situation, and he is still alive today. At least I think he is. I have no idea where or what he's been doing for like the past almost 20 years. But you have to be careful with that kind of thing, because killing myself by eating that would be bad, and I don't pretend it wouldn't be, but killing somebody else would be a lot worse. Now, I understand that had the Supreme Court actually accepted me as president, I would have been commander-in-chief. And that means I would have to send American servicemen into harm's way if they needed to go, and order them to kill people when they got there. And that blood would, at some level, be on my hands, because an officer is responsible for the actions of his men. Which is exactly why, at every level in this here hospital, this set of words right here, they should be paying attention to that. Because if they poison me with something like this breakfast syrup, they told me I could have actual maple syrup for my pancakes for breakfast today. They lied. That is not maple syrup. There is not a single atom of maple anything in that breakfast syrup. Read the list of ingredients. Maple, the word maple does not appear on there once. But artificial flavors does, and I've told them what that will do to my brain chemistry, and they tried to give it to me anyway. That is a systemic problem with modern medicine in this country, that they are putting standardization and profit ahead of people. That has been a problem for quite some time. And there's a simple, straightforward solution. It's easy. It's even traditional. We used it in this country for many, many years. Hospitals, medical professionals at beyond the strictly individual personal doctor level were not allowed to make any profit from practicing medicine. They were non-profit organizations inherently under the law. I don't know why precisely that changed. I don't know when precisely that changed. I would have had a team of people to find that sort of thing out for me if I had been actually made president, but I wasn't. And because of that, I'm in a situation here where I have to deal with this kind of ridiculousness day in and day out, where I know what the problems are. I don't know the specifics of how they arose, but it's not that hard to solve them. You just stop doing the stupid thing and go back to what actually worked. It's not complicated. We already wrote the laws which already worked, and they would doubtless need at least a little bit of rewriting to cope with the way that the modern world has changed since they were written the first time. But that's not that hard. We just basically plagiarize the works of previous eras of our own government as fresh laws to tackle today's challenges, because we already found the solution that will actually work. So all we need to do is just copy that solution and then tweak it a little bit for what's gone wrong since that solution was first being used. Go back to the way things are supposed to be. Now, obviously, things have changed since then. Some parts of it would doubtless have to be rewritten, very explicitly the parts that are, anti-populist, the parts that are not in favor of what the general public of the United States of America wants today. But that's all. You don't have to change much about the way things used to be to get things back to being good in this country. Some things are different now. We didn't have cell phones back then, which is what I'm filming this with. We didn't have computers. Well, just barely had computers, but no internet, that's for sure. Didn't have an internet. We definitely didn't have YouTube where I'm uploading this content and so on. None of that existed, and the laws will have to be adapted to take those kind of things into account when they're being redeveloped for modern use. But that's all we got to do. We already have the working solutions. What we lack is the political will to put them back into practice and make America great again. Because it was great there for a while, and then things were changed that pulled us out of that groove. It's not that hard to get back into the groove. You just reset the record back to that track. And, of course, the real world does not actually run like a record. Now time is a spiral like a record, but it's a three-dimensional one, not a sort of at least two-dimensional one the way a record is. It's not flat. It's a helix, not a spiral the way you would look at a spiral inscribed on a surface. Somebody's about to come into my room, so talk to you later. До свидания.